I'm going to be making Thai sweet corn fritters, which are absolutely delicious. 10 minutes to make, 10 minutes to bake. Well, actually not bake, but fry. So they're not very healthy, but they do have 1 every 5 a day in there. What more would you want? And they're also found over Indonesia and Malaysia as well. So I'm going to crack on. Tin of sweet corn. Now, obviously, if you want to use fresh sweet corn in summer, that's absolutely fine. But a tin of chunky sweet corn. Boom, boom. And then we're just going to blend half of it. So I've got my whizzer, and I'm going to crush half it. So half of it is going to be whole, so you can see the sweet corn in there, and then half of it's going to be blended down, which will make the fritters really, really yummy. And bind them together a little bit better. Sweet corn sticking. So that's that. So that's easy. And then I'm going to put these ingredients into it. So I've got an onion. It's a big onion, so I'm not going to use all of it. I'm probably going to use about 1/3 of it. Chop it in half. Skin off. If there's any horrible bits, just pull those layers off as well. So I'll keep that to the side. Get that out of the way. You know I hate mess, don't you? Slightly OCD. And then I'm just going to cut that into fine strips. So I've left a little bit of the root on the end, so that should hold it together. Claw hand, straight down with the knife. Avoiding that last sort of 1/2 inch at the end. Bridge. And then into nice little dice. You can cut it a couple of times to get it finer, but then sometimes it breaks up, so I don't teach it that way. That's enough. That's about the equivalent of a small onion. So I'm going to throw that in there like that. Garlic. I like a little bit of extra garlic, so I'm going to put a little bit extra in. Crush it. Of course, you could use the crusher if you want to, but I'm fine chopping. I like a little bit of texture in there. It's going to get cooked anyway. No snogging later though, that's all. You could chop this up finer. You don't want to watch me chopping too much, so I'll use it as it is. Spring onion. I'm getting the onions in my eyes now. Starting to cry. Top and tail. Cut them down the middle because you want smaller pieces in this. And then just chop up as small as you can. And if they need a wash, obviously give them a wash. Chilli, going to use a whole chilli. I've actually got this out of the freezer and it's just softened. And I'm going to use seeds and all, but you can use half a chilli if you've got a hot chilli, or you can use the whole thing with your seeds, or you can add extra chilli in as well if you want to, whatever you fancy. But this is quite a mild chilli, so I know it's not going to be too spicy for me. I like things sort of medium spiced, or British medium spiced, which is a completely different thing altogether. So you've got your chilli in there for a bit of flavour. Extra flavour is your coriander, ground coriander. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of that in, generous teaspoon. Teaspoon, generous teaspoon, that's all good. A teaspoon of baking powder, that's going to make it nice and light and fluffy. And an egg. Crack an egg, put that in there. I'm just going to mix all that together. The only other thing I need to put in there now is some flour to bind it all together. If you're gluten-free, go for some rice flour. Because it hasn't got much gluten in it, or any gluten in it, rice flour, you're going to just need to use a little bit more. I tend to go with 4 in here, but you've got to kind of play it by eye as well, because it depends how much water you left in your sweet corn, how much you whizzed your sweet corn up, and how big your egg was, really. It's all about more the consistency. Follow the recipe by all means, but if you want a better consistency, you've got to kind of do it by eye. So you want it all bound together like that. Definitely don't need any more flour in there. Still got a little bit more stickiness in it. And I don't want to over mix it as well, because you're going to mix the glutens out in the flour. So you can see it's holding together, but it's still got a bit of a slosh on it. So that's perfect. The other thing I need to do is just a little bit of seasoning in there. It just needs a little bit of seasoning because there's not a huge amount of other flavour in there. You've got your chilli, you've got your coriander, but just a little bit more just to pep it up a little bit. And obviously you need to counterbalance that sweet from the sweet corn as well. So just season that up and job's done. Done, finished. Right, I'm going to fry them now. So I've got my deep fat fryer. I've got some kitchen paper ready when they come out, and I've got some spoons. Now, I'm not doing quenelles, we're not on MasterChef, we're doing proper old street food. So just a spoonful of that, put it in hot oil. Spoonful in hot oil. You want to keep that texture as well a little bit, because if you compact it too far together, you don't get those lovely crispy edges. You've also got to be extra careful, because when you're frying sweet corn off, sometimes it explodes, like it would do as if you were making popcorn. So never lean over, in your eye, not a good thing. Probably do 2 batches of this, so I'll do half, maybe about 6, 7, 8 in each one, and then stop. So you could be using like about a tablespoonful and dropping it in. And that's it. I'm just going to keep going until these are cooked and golden brown. I'm going to turn them over as well halfway through cooking them. We're deep fat frying them. Now if you haven't got a deep fat fryer, not a problem, cook them in a wok in about 2 inches of oil, sunflower oil or vegetable oil, but just make sure you never walk away from them, because 90% of house fires are caused by frying in the house. And the perfect thing to go with these is kecap manis as well, is that lovely Indonesian dip, but also Thai sweet chili sauce is the perfect dip with this. So these are lovely and golden brown now, so I'm going to get those out. You see how lovely they are. Oh, they're gorgeous. If you're not quite sure if they're cooked or not, just take one out and just break it open. And if that flour obviously looks raw and it looks doughy inside, then you don't want that. Take all these bits out as well, because they're tasty. They're the chef's bits. They're the scraps. They're lovely. Just let them cool off a bit. Meanwhile, I'll put the other ones in. So we're talking about 2 to 3 minutes each side, and then you turn them over. And I've got them cooking at 180. So you want it hot. In some ways you want it hot and then you want to cool the oil down a little bit, so you can start them off at about 190, 180, and then you could always turn it down a little bit if you think they're getting too hot, because you want to make sure that that flour's cooked in the middle. But as I say, you know, if you're not sure, break one open and have a look. And these are really nice as party food as well. I did them one Christmas and I did 2 loads, 2 sweet corn tins, and it made loads of them, because you sort of do them about sort of half or a third of the size of that, and then you have a massive bowl of Thai sweet chili sauce in the middle, and then loads of sweet corn fritters, and just cook them to order, because you can make them up ahead and just leave the mix in the fridge. You can freeze them and you can reheat them if you want to, but it's like anything that's fried, it's so much nicer if it's cooked fresh, and it doesn't take too long to cook them, you know, 5-6 minutes altogether. So leave that like that. So we've got our dips here. I've got the equal quantities, which is a Chinese dip, of rice wine vinegar and light soya sauce with a little bit of coriander and some sesame seeds. I've got my lovely kecap manis, which I absolutely adore, and my Thai sweet chili sauce. And I've also got this odd one that I tried earlier, which is like a seafood chili sauce. So break one of these open. Make sure you cool off a little bit at home. It's quite hot, but I've got asbestos fingers, and you can see inside. Oh, delicious. So what should I go for? Oh, kecap manis. It's a no-brainer. Lovely, lovely. That's so lovely. They're just so crispy on the outside, but there's so much flavour in there as well, because you've got your chilli, you've got your coriander, they're seasoned as well, so you've got that like sweet and salty sort of flavour to them as well. But it's just the texture of them, so nice. That's why they've got to be deep fried. Thai chili sauce next. Look at that. Oh. So, make them at home. 10 minutes to make, 10 minutes to cook. So delicious, so easy, perfect for a vegetarian starter. Make them gluten-free by putting your rice flour in there. And if you want to, you could chef it up a bit as well. You could put grated courgette in there, you could put coconut in there. You can make them yours with different spices and different herbs, extra chilli, whatever you fancy. There's no set rules or regulations to food. It's up to you. It's up to you what you fancy and what you like. Enjoy.